So hello there, good people of the world. Welcome to another video and stream. Tonight we are going to continue the Pacific Edge tour. But there is one difference compared to the usual legs. Tonight I will be flying a different airplane because for one where is my mouse cursor? For one simple reason, I am planning, as I've told you before in some of the previous streams, videos, whatever, I am planning to do some more. Do I really have to remove this stuff? I need to remove all this crap. Okay. I am planning on doing more tours. Different tours, and that basically means and one of those tours is a very low and slow flying tour, and for that I need a different plane. The Kodiak is not very well suited for the task for the thing that I'm planning to do, so I'm looking for another one, and I'm looking at the NX Cub for one single reason. It's got an autopilot, because during the tours when I'm talking to other people, I would just like to park the plane somewhere in the air and do some talking and looking around and being able to look at maps and all that. So an autopilot is a nice thing, and I love the Cubs. And this one in particular, because it's got a nice interior. Look at the nice seats and all that. So I have no experience whatsoever in this plane. I've never used it before, at least in 2024. I think I did use it in 2020, but not in this simulator. So let's see how this goes. First of all, we're going to have to turn this thing on, I guess. And for once, I will be using a checklist just to make sure that I have all clip charts. No, the plane checklists. Here we go. Just ones that I have everything, that I know everything that I need to know. So let's go ahead and do that one. Battery switch. Where is it? Battery? Where are you? That looks like a battery. Inoperative? Okay. What is that? That is the master switch. AV master? Battery switch, I guess. Oh, that's the one. Go away. Oxtimer? No, that's not the battery switch. Is it somewhere below? Nope. Oh, that's the one. Okay, so I did it right. Elevator trim. Where is the elevator trim? Is that the trim? No. Fuel selector. Pitch trim. I don't know if there is a... Let's just move it. No, there's just this rocker switch. Okay, we've got it at 0 degrees. Fuel selector, both. Let's see. Right, left, off. There is no both. Fuel selector off, left. There is no both. I wouldn't expect that anyway in this particular plane. So we've got both. In some ways it's still similar to the good old Cub. Well, okay, flaps. Check landing positions. There's the flaps. We'll leave them up for now. Fuel quantity, that's okay. We've seen that right now. Ignition. Ignition. Where's the ignition switch? Doody doody doody. I feel like such a noob. Is that the ignition switch? I would say, right? No. Where is the ignition switch? Here it is. Okay. Ignition must be on off position. Okay, we'll leave it on off for now. Mixture is lean. Let's see. Yep, it is lean. Prop speed and control lever, maximum RPM. Fully pushed, I did that. That's the prop speed control lever. That's this one here, but not the throttle. Okay, all the electrical equipment off. Okay, let's turn it on. Let's turn it off. Battery switch on. Okay. Everything else is off, right? No, not really. Battery switch off. I don't know. Okay, so we did the walk around. Let's pretend we did the walk around. All that before starting the engine. We did that. Passenger briefing, we don't need that. Brakes. Yep, fuel selector. Starting the engine, here we go. Master switch on. Prop speed, max RPM, we did that. Let's open the switch a little bit. The throttle. There we go. Propeller area. Look out! Magnetos both. Let's go ahead and turn to both. Mixture must be rich. Yep. Electric fuel pumps must be switched on. Where are they? Strobe and all that stuff. Fuel pump, okay. Starter, engage. Now the engine is on. Let's turn on AV master. Throttle to get around 1000 RPM. Okay, we'll see about that. There we go. Okay, I guess. So the thing is running. Let's reset the view. Okay. It's always interesting to interested in a plane that I haven't been using before. So I cannot activate the strobe for whatever reason. All these switches do not seem to work. That's a pity. Inoperative. These lazy bastards, they did not really... Mother of God. Alt field fuel pump. Okay, so let's put in a waypoint here. I have no idea how this particular Garmin system works, but we'll take a look. So we have... There's MM26, Mike 26. That could be one of the waypoints that we will be flying towards. Let's see, let's do a split. There are two ways. There are... Oh, here we go. Let's put in a waypoint. I want a waypoint. Flight plan, maybe? Map, engine, traffic. Weather, terrain. Nope. Waypoint. Well, you know. Oh, there we go. Waypoint identifier. Let's put in like Mike 26. Mike 26. Here we go. Russia, France. No, like that one. San Ignacio. Yep, that's the right one. So yep, I would like to activate this particular waypoint. Enter. And so how do I activate it? I have no clue. Flight plan? Maybe? I don't know. Add a waypoint. Okay, so Mike. What was it? 26. Enter. That one. Here we go. That looks better. 117 miles. Plan fuel. I don't know. I don't care about that right now. But that kind of looks good to me. So we have an idea where we need to go. And there's also waypoint information. We've got runways here. Interesting. Frequencies. No frequencies. Runway, weather. No weather data. Unfortunate, but no big deal. So let's see how this thing handles on the ground. I don't know what else they forgot to put into the flight sim here in this version. We'll see about that. Release the parking brake. Let's hope for the best. So we are right now. We are at an airport that is called Punta Prieta airstrip, and we've got 13 knots of wind coming from the west. It doesn't really matter which runway we take, but I would say that the wind slightly prefers 34. So we're gonna turn right here and go to, oh, this thing accelerates quite quickly. Let's go to runway 34. Lower the flaps a little for takeoff. I'm not sure if it's even necessary with that kind of plane because it's so lightweight, but we'll see. So yeah, information. I just wanted to get rid of this. Messages, no messages currently. The heck. Here we go. Okay. Nice little plane, isn't it? Lots of rudder necessary. We've got quite a lot of wind. You can see it because the plane is actually leaning to the right, to the left, sorry. It's leaning to the left because we've got lots of crosswind coming from the right. So we need to be a little bit careful during takeoff so that it doesn't really simply flop over. Okay. What's nice is that you actually have a synthetic view. So in the most basic way, this thing might also be able to do IFR to a certain degree. I mean, it's not, obviously it's not the most stable plane that's gonna fly at every possible weather, but if you get into fog or light rain, it doesn't really matter that much. So let's see. We can fly this thing. Take off. Oh man. It is pulling to the left, really, a whole lot. And it's quick. Look at how quickly this thing accelerates. We're at 100 knots already. Raise the flaps. We don't need them anyway. So put in some trim. Yeah, we should be reducing the RPMs. Okay, let's turn left here. Let's see. Pressure, oil. There's a fuel PSI, that's alright. Is there a way to see how much fuel it burns? Or is that it? Fuel PSI. No, that's just the fuel pressure, I would say, from the fuel pump. Oh, gallons per hour. This is the indicator for fuel consumption. Let's see what might be a good value here. 5.7 should keep us above 80 knots, I guess, or 6, something like that. And then let's go ahead and configure the autopilot. Let's see how this works. I'm going to activate it now. Ooh. Nope, this is not what I was looking for. Sweet mother of God. Let's go to 2,000 feet. That should be good enough. And then let's go ahead and put in some vertical speed. No, 800 feet per minute should be good enough. Let's activate the autopilot here. Flight director on. And let's activate nav. Let's see how it works, how it is able to work with that. And we want to keep the altitude of 2,000 feet. So autopilot is on, GPS is on, but it didn't recognize that we're trying to fly to a certain waypoint, I think. Let's hit the button again, roll GPS. Yeah, stop it. Go back. Go back. I don't want to. Go back. Ah, dude. It's always interesting to try out new stuff, but it should be, in some ways, it should be logical to work with. Menu? There's a menu. Oh, look at that. GPS. Inset windows. What do we have here? Flight plan. Nearest airports. Traffic. Well, what does the traffic stuff do? There's a back button. Okay. So there is traffic. Interesting. What else? Flight plan. How does that look like? There's the flight plan, okay. That's also very nice. Might be helpful. Activate the nav. It doesn't recognize. Oh yes, now it does. I hope it's not crashing us. No, it's trying to fly heading. I want to fly GPS. What the hell? Okay, so we're gonna fly heading for now and make sure that I begin to understand how this thing works. Menu. What else? Bearing pointers. GPS. That's nice. Timer. I don't need that. Minimum altitude, I don't know. For now, we're going to put into 500 feet. What else? More options. Wind vector. Oh, yes, please. Speed and direction. Or, yeah, that one is good. Standard rate. Turn angle pointers. Yeah, sure, why not? Heading. Auto track heading. Well, why not? Right side knob action. No, that's good. Press to toggle knob action. Not yet. There is, oh, look at that. Synthetic vision, of course. Flight path marker. So, CDI source, we did activate that. Flight plan, what else can we put in here? Nearest airports, we don't need that. But the map might be nice to have. And we're gonna zoom out. Oh yes, that's good. That's nice. So let's get back to the task at hand. I want this thing to be following my GPS stuff thing here. Nope. Yep. No, it seems to be working. Weird. Okay. We'll get the hang of it eventually. Hot air entry. Okay, okay. Well, that's pretty stupid, really. That is just lazy to not have put in the functionality for the lights. I mean, there are so many complicated things on a plane like this, and they just didn't put in the switches for strobe nav and stuff like that. What the hell? This is a Sobo typical stuff, I guess. Let's take a look at the 15 and 15. Okay. So at some point we're going to have to switch, I guess. What is that? ELT? ELT, emergency use only? Never heard of it. That's a light. Okay. And the guy in the back, he doesn't even have a headrest. That's pretty. If somebody wants to actually sleep, but I do like the seats. They look very nice with leather imitation. Okay, so 105 nautical miles to go. Let's see. We're at 2,000. That's a good altitude. But this thing is going to be... This thing is being pushed around quite a lot by the winds. These things that I can open up. Oh yes, I can. To get a little bit of air inside the plane. That's nice. I guess it's warm enough in here. That's one of the things that I'm missing with my current throttle. Frankenstein, I cannot adjust the mixture with one of my with one of my wheels or anything on the throttle, because I'm still using the throttle from the TCS Thrustmaster system. I have not yet been allowed to buy myself a proper throttle system. Like the one from, what are these guys called? Honeycomb. I was looking at the Bravo throttle quadrant, because it's got all the stuff that I want and need. For example, a knob to turn the heading and all altitude bug and stuff like that. So right now we're over Mexico. As you can see, I think this still belongs to the area that's called Baja California. Maybe. I'm not sure. But it looks pretty desert-like here. It looks a bit like Monument Valley, actually, in some parts. We could have, actually, I mean, this is a little Cub. We could go ahead and have some fun very low above the ground. Let's deactivate the autopilot and have some fun. And fly a little bit closer to the ground. And see if we can surprise some, I don't know what kind of animals are living here. Maybe what are these guys called? The little ones that are standing upright and looking for enemies, and then they go into their holes. I don't remember what they are called in English. Look at that. Some nice houses down there. Probably belonging to some kind of ranch. Or just a place to hang out, maybe. Lots of turbulence down here. Well, actually, you know, I can talk about the... I don't need to make a secret of it. The reason why I'm flying the Cub here is because the tour that I plan to do pretty soon, another tour that I'm going to open parallel to this one here, is just for a little bit of variation and to keep things fresh. The tour is going to be called, I guess, the Orient Express, because we are basically going to follow the train route of the Orient Express in Europe, and it's basically starts in Paris, France, and goes all the way to Istanbul in Turkey. And the route is going through different countries, and it's really closely following the train track, the track that the trains are following to while they're doing this tour. And we're going to have to fly low and slow because we are really going to follow the train track. And a Cub like this one here might be a good idea for this kind of adventure, because as much as I love the Kodiak, it's just a little bit too big and too fast for that kind of adventure. And the tour is not that long. It's not nearly as long as the Pacific Edge, so it's not going to take forever. And there is another tour that I'm intending to do, that's something that I've been planning for a longer time now, is the Ring Road Rally over Iceland. And that might be something that we're going to fly with a Kodiak again, or maybe with this one, I don't know. If I happen to like this here, it's the NX Cub, in case you're wondering. The Cub version with the nose wheel. Let's switch the fuel tank really quick and use up some fuel on the right hand side. Look at these beautiful canyons. I'm really tempted to go really low and dirty and fly through one of those canyons. Why the heck not? I mean, we're here to have fun, right? There's some kind of river. What are these little furry guys called? I seriously don't remember the English name for them. Oh, there's another canyon. Look at that. This thing is so nice and lightweight, and it's got so much power that it's really basically not a problem at all to make a very steep angled climb for a couple of seconds, because I mean this I think it's got like 215 to 220 horsepower in a package like this. It's heavier than the regular Super Cub, but it's still just a little Cub, you know, and it doesn't really have any serious weight at all. So the autopilot doesn't really work very well. Heck. We need to watch out that we don't run out of fuel at some point. We can take a look at the checklist, and I want to know in flight, en route, climbed, throttle must be fully pushed, lean above when reaching 3000, okay, cruise, correct airspeed, okay, prop in the green sector, yeah, no kidding. That checklist doesn't really help a lot. Look at how it's being pushed around. By the turbulence out there. Now it's trying to get back on track. Yep. Ground speed 160 knots. Oh, not bad. 13 knots of tailwind. That's why we're being pushed around so much. And 12 winds. No, 12 winds of. Yeah, 12 winds of. 12 knots of 18 knots of tailwind. Look at that. I really do like this kind of landscape. It looks beautiful. I know there are a lot of people who don't like deserts because they look like you can't live in them. There's not much greenery around here. But I really do like the look of, oh, look at that. We're gonna crash into the mountain. Let's see if we need to intervene. We might want to, indeed. Let's deactivate the autopilot for a second, just to make sure. We can put it to like 2,300 feet. Activate it. Oh, it desperately wants us to die today, the autopilot. Look at the cactus. They look nice. I really need to look this up. I feel like an old man, which I actually am, but tell me what it mentioned means in English. So what does it say? Mandrake? That's bullshit. Alron? No. Please. Meerkat. That's actually better. Or suricate. I don't know. Meerkat? No. That's all wrong. Can't be that difficult. Do I need to pay attention? No, not yet. Erdmännchen. Erdmännchen. What is it called? Suricate, yeah, maybe. Or meerkat. Meerkat, suricate. Whatever. You know, the little guys that are standing up right at their burrows and then start to raise the alarm as soon as some kind of enemy or unexpected guest comes up. And then they're all going to jump into their holes and hopefully be safe. Oh, I desperately want to fly into these canyons here. This is so cool. This looks all so nice. got downdrafts here. Oh. Yeah, never underestimate the power of winds in these little holes here. Oh man, look at how the plane is being shaken, like it's being pushed around by all these winds. This is actually quite dangerous if you don't, if you're, what I'm doing, nobody else should be doing in real life, at least, with a plane like this. You can do it with an F-18, I guess, but not necessarily with a little Cub like this. I don't know. It feels dangerous. And yesterday was when I was flying over PNG. I already made mistakes of trying to land on an airfield that was actually a seaplane base. I landed there with my Kodiak, which actually worked, although I kind of almost got stuck in some kind of riverbed. But when I tried to take off, the simulator decided that I was rolling into some kind of tree, which I wasn't, I think, but still the simulator decided that I was, so I kind of crashed. Oh, sweet mother of God. Oh, dude. There are nice houses down here. I guess you can buy them pretty cheaply. I mean, there's nothing here really, except maybe some goats that you've got to eat if you want to survive. Now we're approaching some plains, as you can see. Oh man, what's happening? Need to reset the view. There we go. So what was I going to say? As you can see on the map here, we're just about to exit the area where we have lots of hills and mountains, and now we're going to enter an area which has got plains, desert-like plains, so that is going to be pretty boring, I guess. And then we can activate the autopilot just because I'm lazy. We could go ahead and turn on, say, intentions, and let Murphy do some tour guiding, so we know what's going on here, which should not be a whole lot, but you know, you never know. Let's activate the altitude and hit autopilot for now. We'll stay at this altitude for a bit. Say intentions. Here we go. Yes, please. So, Janet, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. Just enjoying the view and pondering life's big questions, like why planes don't have reverse gear. It's a mystery, isn't it?
Well, actually, they do.
Well, Well, that's a bit of a revelation, isn't it? I suppose planes do have a sort of reverse, but it's more like a backwards glide, isn't it? Like when you try to walk backwards on a treadmill and end up in a heap on the floor. Fascinating stuff.
Well, not really.
Oh, well, I suppose it's more like a plane's version of a moonwalk, isn't it? Not quite the same as reversing a car, but it gets the job done in its own peculiar way.
You're a little peculiar as well.
Oh, peculiar is just another word for unique, isn't it? Like how Toby once tried to invent a new kind of sandwich using only air and enthusiasm. Didn't quite work out, but it was certainly unique.
Toby's a bit of an idiot, isn't he?
Oh, Toby's not just an idiot. He's a walking disaster with a PhD in chaos. If there's a way to make a situation worse, Toby's already done it twice and written a book about it. Bless him.
Yeah, press him to make it even more entertaining.
Oh, pressing Toby for entertainment is like squeezing a lemon for orange juice. You never quite get what you expect, but it's always a surprise. Once, he tried to juggle flaming torches at a medieval festival and ended up setting fire to his own trousers. The crowd loved it, though, so maybe there's something to it.
Maybe there is.
Maybe there is, but it's probably hidden away in the same place as the missing socks from the laundry. A mystery for the ages, like why Toby insists on wearing sandals with socks. It's a fashion crime, really.
Is it now?
Well, maybe it is, or maybe it isn't. It's like trying to find the meaning of life in a bowl of alphabet soup, isn't it? You think you've got it, but then it just spells out oops.
That is an analogy that I cannot really relate to.
Ah, well, analogies are like socks, aren't they? Some fit perfectly, and others just leave you with cold feet. It's the thought that counts, or maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
I don't.
Well, that's like trying to find the meaning of life in a bowl of alphabet soup, isn't it? You think you've got it, but then it just spells out oops.
Well, that's artificial intelligence for you right there. Are you an do you consider yourself to be an intelligent being?
Well, intelligence is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, isn't it? You think you've got
Absolutely.
it, but then it turns out to be a bit of straw. So maybe I'm a bit of both, like a smart straw.
No, you are not.
Well, intelligence is a bit like a sandwich, isn't it? You think you've got all the right ingredients, but sometimes you end up with just 2 slices of bread and a lot of questions. So maybe I'm just a curious sandwich.
Maybe you are an artificial intelligence that is trying to impersonate a human being that is a little bit silly, a little bit funny, and a little bit knowledgeable at the same time, and it doesn't really work out, does it?
Well, it's like trying to impersonate a toaster, isn't it? You can make the noises and pop up occasionally, but at the end of the day, you're still not going to make any toast. It's all a bit of a muddle, really.
Is it now? I think we should reduce.
Well, it's like trying to
RPMs
fit a
little
square
bit.
peg into a round hole, isn't it? You think it might work, but then it just ends up being a bit awkward and not quite right. Much like Toby's attempt at synchronized swimming without the water.
Synchronized swimming without water. This is something that only an artificial intelligence can come up with as a joke, because it's not really that funny.
Oh well, synchronized swimming without water is like trying to make a cup of tea without a kettle, isn't it? You can try, but it just ends up being a bit of a soggy mess. Much like Toby's attempt at making a souffle in a microwave. It didn't rise, but it did explode.
Yes. You know, my dog used to have a girlfriend, and she was pretty rude because she she always looked at other dogs and was trying to mate with them, and it was kind of, she was kind of betraying my little cute dog, and she was like, no. No way in hell this just happened. What am I talking about? I have no idea.
Well, that's a bit like Toby's attempt at dating, isn't it? He once tried to impress a date by juggling flaming torches, but ended up setting fire to his own trousers. The date wasn't impressed, but the fire department certainly was.
You were talking about a medieval festival where he did exactly that. So he did it on a date as well?
Oh, Toby's got a bit of a flair for the dramatic, doesn't he? Whether it's a medieval festival or a date, he seems to think flaming torches are the way to impress. It's a wonder he's still got his eyebrows, really.
It's a wonder he actually did not starve to death because of his stupidity.
Well, it's like Toby always says, you can't starve if you've got a pocket full of crumbs and a head full of dreams. Mind you, he once tried to live off a diet of only marshmallows and ended up with a sugar rush that lasted 3 days. So maybe there's something to his survival skills after all.
Do you happen to have a dog?
Oh, I never had a dog myself, but Toby once tried to adopt a stray cat thinking it was a dog. He was quite disappointed when it didn't bark, but just stared at him judgmentally. Classic Toby.
Can you please change seats with Two-Tone Murphy, because I've had enough?
Oh, I'd love to help, but I'm afraid I'm stuck in my seat like a stubborn bit of chewing gum on a pavement. It's one of those unmovable situations, like trying to get Toby to understand the concept of personal space. He's still working on that one.
I see.
Well, seeing is believing, isn't it? Like when Toby tried to see if he could believe he was invisible by running through a crowded park. Turns out, he wasn't invisible, just very noticeable.
I see.
Well, seeing is believing, isn't it? Like when Toby tried to see if he could believe he was invisible by running through a crowded park. Turns out, he wasn't invisible, just very noticeable.
I see.
Well, seeing is believing, isn't it? Like when Toby tried to see if he could believe he was invisible by running through a crowded park. Turns out, he wasn't invisible, just very noticeable.
I see, I see.
Oh, seeing is believing, isn't it? Like when Toby tried to see if he could believe he was invisible by running through a crowded park. Turns out, he wasn't invisible, just very noticeable.
I see, I see. I'm sorry if I'm annoying you.
Well, seeing is believing, isn't
viewer.
it? Like when Toby tried to see if he could believe he was invisible by running through a crowded park. Turns out, he wasn't invisible, just very noticeable.
I see, I see.
Well, seeing is believing, isn't it? Like when Toby tried to see if he could believe he was invisible by running through a crowded park. Turns out, he wasn't invisible, just very noticeable.
I do not see, I do not see.
Well, not seeing is a bit like listening to a silent disco, isn't it? You think you're part of the experience, but really you're just watching people dance in silence. Perhaps it's just a bit cloudy or your eyes are having a day off. Happens to the best of us. Even Toby when he tried to see through a blindfold during a game of pin the tail on the donkey. Didn't end well for the donkey or the wall.
Why?
Well, why is a question that philosophers have been pondering for centuries, isn't it? Like why Toby once tried to make a cup of tea using a shoe instead of a teapot. Some things just don't have sensible answers.
Why not?
Well, why not is a bit like asking why Toby once tried to fry an egg on a car bonnet during a heat wave. Some things just happen because they can, and sometimes they end up with a very crispy egg and a confused Toby.
I get a feeling that the LLM behind this artificial intelligence does not retain context. So if you're having a discussion with it and you try to follow up with a question that relates to the previous one, for example, if I'm just asking why the dog did kind of stuff like that and that and that, and I just ask why, I would expect my dialogue partner to basically retain the previous conversation in his head and ask and answer taking in the context of all the information that he's gotten so far. So, but the AI doesn't do that. I don't know why. If they're afraid the context window will use up too many resources, that actually might be the case. But for some reason, if I ask this Janet guy some follow-up questions, it's not going to recognize what I was asking earlier, and that's a pity. That's not how conversation really works. So let's change, but I like Two-Tone Murphy better than Janet. Intercom, Two-Tone Murphy, here we go. Yo Murph, what's up?
Top of the morning to you. Just enjoying the grand view from up here like a bird in the sky. If you have any questions about the sights below, I'm your Irish guide to the wonders of the world. Slanta!
Do you like squirrels?
Squirrels, those cheeky little critters. They're like the acrobats of the animal kingdom, always darting about with a nut in their paws. Back in Ireland we have the red squirrel, A charming little fella with a tuft of hair on its ears, and they're quite the sight to see. So yes, I do have a soft spot for those furry rascals.
Rascals are something else, really, Murphy.
And indeed, those squirrels are the cheekiest of rascals, always up to some mischief. And just like the leprechauns of the forest they are.
Rascals? I don't know. Well, anyway. So Murph, where are we, and is there anything interesting to see around us?
We're flying over the Baja California peninsula near the charming little town of Muley. At our 2 o'clock, you'll spot the stunning Baja Concepcion, a glorious bay with turquoise waters and white sandy beaches. It's a favourite spot for both locals and tourists alike, perfect for kayaking and spotting dolphins. A true gem of nature it is.
Okay. That sounds very nice.
It sure is. The beauty of the Baja California peninsula never fails to impress. If you have any other curiosities, feel free to ask.
Yes.
Grand. Let's keep our eyes peeled for more wonders of the Baja California peninsula.
We're gonna fly over to this canyon here. I like it. And that we're gonna drop into the canyon to have some more fun. And maybe crash into the walls of the canyon. Oh, look at this. This is cool. This is actually very nice. Hi there, Dane Flats. Actually, there is I can show you right here. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get out of the canyon so I don't crash into the walls. But it's pretty easy. It is pretty easy, really, because in the settings. So I think I can reactivate the autopilot for now. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Looks good. So I want to show you the intentions window real quick. There are the settings here. And in the settings you've got this intercom tab, and inside the tab you can choose between the kind of passengers that you want to have. There's the tour guide and the mentor and cabin crew and all that stuff, and you can select tour guide and Toontown Murphy. Yes, it's say intentions, exactly. Yes, that is the premium version. I did cancel my account, but it's still running until in May sometime, I think. There is this beta version for, I don't know what it's called, Open Sky, something like that. but it doesn't have the VFR capability. That was the reason why I actually got Say Intentions, because of the VFR stuff, because it's able to do kind of freestyle VFR. Yes, it is neat, but also it is getting pretty repetitive after a while, because the AI voices. Oh, you did follow my channel. That's nice. First time to talk to me. Hello there. Yeah, it is pretty neat, but it also gets, as I said, pretty repetitive after a while, because the AI only has so much capability and resources available. So, but it's fun sometimes to listen to some of the, I don't know, the AI is able to spot some of the interesting spots around the in your vicinity. Yes, actually it does. I'm not into airliners really, because I do prefer the low and slow flying, but nevertheless, if I have the opportunity, I'll take a look. Is happening. Low fuel. Yeah, I was expecting that, because we didn't have a whole lot of fuel in the first place. I think we should gain some altitude. Yes, it does. That's true. It does break the monotony. The monotonous droning of the engines. Yes, it does. But it depends on where you fly. I'm not really into VATSIM, because in the places that I like to fly, usually there's no VATSIM controller. So you can only use Unicom, for example, Iceland. But or in Papua New Guinea, there aren't so many people who are doing this from the controller side. So Say Intentions is a nice addition, but I would really love to see, like, beyond ATC to ramp up their game, because I think they have an interesting approach to this with local LLMs. We'll see about that. Yeah, that does make sense, yes. Especially if you announce the event beforehand, then there's a pretty good chance that you're going to get a controller for this. Yes, it does. That's true. But I'd really rather have them put, because the Say Intentions guys, they're trying to put all kinds of features into the software, which is nice, but I would love for them to concentrate on the VFR and IFR parts, I don't really need a tour guide. It's a nice addition, but because of the constraints of the AI personalities, it is going to get repetitive over time and not much really to enjoy in the long run. But the VFR part is pretty cool. I do agree. Yeah, it is. But I think looking at it from a developer side, because sometimes I have to work with this generative AI as well in my day job. There are also experiences that you can make with this kind of approach with a tour guide and stuff. So you can record the interactions that people have with the AI, and you can learn from it. So it kind of makes sense to put in something else. But the VFR part is the heart, for me, say intentions really, the VFR part is the heart of it all, because there would not be any reason for me to use this if it didn't have the VFR, the chaotic freestyle VFR kind of flying, because there are other systems out there which are cheaper than say intentions, which can do a IFR pretty well, but VFR nobody else can do except say intentions right now, at least that I know of. Let's see, 6 miles to go. That's good because my fuel is running out. Still a little bit left. Let's see, what kind of airport do we have here? Can we see something yet? Not yet. So you're talking... That's true. It does make mistakes quite often. It really does. But, you know, it's still better than nothing. It's still better than the ATC stuff from the simulator, because that is crap. It's always been crap, but it is especially crap in 2024 because they are using these really bad AI voices. But yes, you have to get into arguments, and most of the time the AI does not even recognize the changes that you want to make to their mistakes. You're telling them, you're telling them that you're flying to a certain airport. It kind of recognizes or repeats the airport, but then say intention says that you're going to a different destination, and you want to correct that, and it doesn't recognize the correction that you actually did. Something like that. It happens. But it still is better than nothing, really. So what kind of if you were talking about classic airliners, what kind of airliners are we talking about? Some, I don't know, DC-3 or the good old, what's it called? Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting old. The transatlantic, the old prop plane for props, the Constellation. Yeah, that's true. And that's one of the interesting things about, right, you're flying the Mad Dog. Okay, the 707 is nice as well. Yeah, what say intentions also, I don't know if you how much you've been playing around with this, but the interest, there's one more interesting part is the what's it called, the SkyOps system, where you can actually pick up missions, and they're actually going to spawn some little scenery. For example, if you're picking up a rescue mission, you're going to be able to see smoke and these and or flares being shot up in the air, and then it sometimes happens that these things, you're trying to do a rescue mission on open water on the ocean, because they do have ship rescues, and then the ship's being spawned into a mountain and you cannot even reach it. So the system does have its flaws because it does not recognize terrain. Not really, but as I said, still better than nothing. Yeah, well, the SkyOps crew of St. Intentions they don't really mind whether the ship's on the ocean. You got to rescue it. No, maybe it's even somewhere down in the underworld, but your mission is to rescue these guys, no matter where they are. Yeah, actually, at one point I tried to do VR, virtual reality headset, but unfortunately I got sick severely and I wasn't able to actually use it. That was a pity, because the immersion is really fantastic. Oh man, what is happening? The immersion is really fantastic, but it didn't work for me. Yeah. That's a pity, because the 3D aspect of it is absolutely fantastic, but I just can't do it because I'm going to throw up at some point. Okay. So, okay, I think I'm going to be able to use this plane in the next tour. Low and slow. I'm going to switch to my Kodiak. There we go. Oh, for crying out loud, please. Here we go. The Jenny? I don't know. I never tried it, actually. There are only really two planes that I like to fly inside the simulator. One of them is this one here. That's the Kodiak 100. That's really fantastic. And the other one is the old good Piper Cub. I simply love that plane. The TDI version, that is the diesel one, right?
Pause system test. Okay.
That's a curious combination, a diesel engine and an airplane, especially in a small one like that. But diesel engines, the TDI engines, are actually very, very efficient, so it kind of makes sense. Oh, with peanut oil, okay. That's, well, that is kind of, it makes sense from a economical point of view. Pick up the peanut oil or the stuff that that you're using to fry the fries, the potato fries. Maybe it's working with that. Okay, let's just make a quick check. We're going to set the autopilot to like 3,000 feet. There we go. Yaw damper on 1,200. We don't need nav. We're going to fly heading for a while, and everything else doesn't. Turn off pause. Okay, release the parking brakes. French fries, okay. Yeah. Well, why not? If it works. Let's see. Where does the wind come from? It is coming from west. Let's take off from runway 17. We don't have any passengers today. The other day I had a big, kind of a falling out with the center of gravity inside the Kodiak. Kind of, I didn't recognize, I did make mistakes. And then this thing just stalled at every possible angle. No need to be sorry. It was fun. It's all fun, really. Fun and games. I do have a checklist as well, but I just, I'm a lazy guy, so sometimes I just don't use it, or I forgot to properly go through it, and I miss some of the points. But this is a simulator, fortunately. I'm not going to die if I forget an item. So, it's all good. Flaps 20. Oh man, we do have a lot of crosswind here. I forgot just to set right rudder trim. It's always good to have a checklist for the checklist. And then you have a co-pilot. You can actually activate a co-pilot and say intentions, if I remember correctly. to help you with a checklist for the checklist you might need for the checklist. But there sure is a lot of wind today. A lot of very variable. Look at that. Lots of turbulence. So that's part of the add-on airplane, the Mad Dog. It does have a co-pilot included. It's an add-on. Okay, FS True Crew. Yes, I've heard of it. I read something about it, but never took a closer look. $30. He's pretty cheap. I hope that was the final price. You're not going to pay him $30 per hour. Degrees. 123 degrees right now. There we go. $30 once, okay. Reduce the torques to 1200 something. That should be good enough. So what are your, you're talking about classic airliners. Are there some special routes that you like to fly? Is there a continent that you love? Special routes that you do like to fly over and over again? Well, Dane, I think you're belonging. I don't know. You're one of the older sim guys, right? You're not 20 anymore. Am I right about that? USA and Canada, okay. Oh yeah, you said you were telling about the events. Okay. You're 19, okay. But you're talking like because of the deer stuff. I've had a couple of viewers that are beyond 60. I mean, I'm old, but some of the guys that I flew with or that were chatting with me, these guys were literally, they wouldn't be able to fly anymore because they're so old. The people would not fly, let them fly anymore. It's a joke, okay. Funny. See me laughing. Spiritually, I'm 12. Not 19. 19 is almost an adult. I'm 12. I'm not ever gonna get older than that in my head. Okay, I get it. That's good enough. 19 is still young enough. So, if you've been following the channel, my channel, actually, I haven't really, I didn't see you before, but then you know what I'm trying to do here, probably. The entire tour from, from up here. I do follow you back. I already have activated the following button here, whatever it's called. Oh, okay, I see. So I did follow you back. You're welcome. Yeah, what I'm trying to do here with a couple of guys who are following sometimes is who are flying along is we're calling it the Pacific Edge Tour. Basically, it's going from Alaska to the Falklands down here, and it's a long way down to the south, but it's fun. I really like to see all the different landscapes, and I did like I did explore the San Francisco Bay Area a little bit more than usual because I've been there a couple of times in my life, and I haven't seen it in 2024 yet, so it was interesting. And then into Mexico and South America and all that. Okay, so what's this club called? Sure, I'd like that. USA Flying Club, okay. Do they have a website? They have a Discord, okay. Mm-hmm. And they're flying regularly? Primarily in the US, I guess. Serious guys. Well, I'm not a serious guy. I won't fit in there. I'm making silly stuff all the time. I wasn't really fueling up, dude. I was just getting another plane. Usually I do it in the tablet here. But yes, I'm a bit more serious than the average Xbox user. That's true. But I don't have a clue about aviation in the first place, so there are people out there who are much more serious than I am. Let's see, it's 1250. Nobody does that. Okay. All right, that sounds good. You go ahead and do that. Nice meeting you. Take care. I'll see you soon. I'm gonna take a look at your channel once I get the opportunity. See ya. So let's see. Loreto. We're gonna fly to. Man, I need to climb a little bit so we don't hit these mountains. We're gonna fly to Loreto. What's it called? Loreto International. I'm gonna put that into the computer in a minute once we've crossed these mountains here, which are actually very pretty. That looks totally nice. Oh, look at that vista. Isn't that beautiful? So many nice mountains. So let's go ahead and activate the autopilot for a minute. We're at 5,000 feet. Let's go to 6,000 just to be sure. Oh, wait a minute. 1,200 should be good enough. And let's continue to fly heading for now. Activate the autopilot. There we go. Oh, dude, this is really an astonishingly beautiful scenery here. I do love that. So let's go back to like 1,200 something torques. And then let's take a look. The designation, the code for the Loreto is Mike Lima Tango. Let's put that in here. Mike Lima Tango. Where is it? Tango. There we go. We can take a look at the procedures, what kind of approaches we have available for this one. There are runways 16 and 34. 16 might be a good choice for us. Now we're going to do a visual approach, and we're going to do straight in. Here, activate, yes please. Show the flight plan. Approach at an altitude of 16, that's okay. Look at this. Look at this. This is ridiculously beautiful. I have to make a screenshot. Oh man, what just happened? There we go. So, I need to make a screenshot of this. Somehow. As best as possible. There we go. Desktop screenshot. That really is one of the strong points of Flight Simulator for Microsoft, because you don't get that kind of scenery anywhere else. 70 miles to go. Hello, Murph. What's going on?
Top of the morning to you. We're flying over some grand scenery here in Baja California, sir, Mexico. Just a wee bit to our east, you'll find the stunning Baja Concepcion, a bay that's as blue as the eyes of a Galway lass. It's a popular spot for kayaking and camping, with its crystal clear waters and sandy beaches. Legend has it pirates once hid their treasures in these parts, so keep an eye out for any glimmering gold.
Let's get rid of this guy. He's blocking my view again all the time. Silly chum. Goodbye. Now I'm alone in my plane. That's a lot better. He does stink a little, actually. I don't know. He's probably not using any showers, but this guy's he's not very cleanly, I guess. Yada 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 yada. Doo-doo-doo. Baja California. So nice. So very nice. Exceptionally nice. It's probably pretty dry here. So, Murphy, what can you tell me about the Baja California? What's so special about this place about this desert.
Baja California, me lad. It's a land where the desert kisses the sea, creating a spectacle that's as rare as a four-leaf clover. The Baja Desert is home to the mighty cardon cactus, which can grow up to 60 feet tall, taller than a leprechaun's tallest tail. This arid beauty is also a sanctuary for unique wildlife, like the Baja California rock lizard. And let's not forget the ancient cave paintings, crafted by the Cochimi people thousands of years ago, telling tales of their lives and dreams. It's a magical place where history and nature dance a jig together.
Cactus that rises 60 feet above the ground. That's basically like 20 meters. 20 meters. Dude, that's 3 times my house. Let's see, is it really? 2.5 times my house, but still. The air is pretty calm up here. It's a lot less rowdy. How far? 50 miles to go. So looking at the map right now, where are we? We're gonna end up in Loreto today, and after that, maybe tomorrow or the day after that, we're gonna fly to Cabo San Lucas, and then it's back to the mainland, and then it's on to South America. Oh, these are interesting places as well. Isabela. That's got to be some kind of volcano. Yes, it is. Volcan Sierra Negra. Seymour. What kind of islands are these? That's the equator. Puerto Baquerizo. Seymour. Okay. That looks pretty nice. These islands here. But looking at the size of the village and the size of the runway, it's 4,000 feet, it's 5,000 feet long. So the village is less than 5,000 feet in length, actually. That's not a whole lot. And what about this one here? Pretty much the same. These villages are pretty small, but they seem to be very nice islands. So, back to the task at hand. We're soon going to arrive at Loreto International Airport. We can take a quick look at the wind situation down there. Airport Loreto. That is, we've got VFR. And what does the wind say? We've got 11 knots from 32 degrees, pretty much from the north. Not exactly. Blah blah. Somewhere from the northeast, really. Locally. Yeah, that should not be a problem, really. Well, 11 knots of tailwind, that's not so cool. Maybe we should pick runway 30, 34? We'll see. Let's get there and then we'll decide. Yeah, we're doing 171 knots of ground speed. So we've got a lot of tailwind here. Yeah, we'll change the approach to runway 34. Select approach to runway 34. There we go. Straight in. Yep, activate. There we go. And we're going to approach from the other side. Let's zoom in real quick and see what's happening. Toggle map pointer. There we go. So that's the toggle the descent. Yeah. So we're gonna fly here, then make a left turn to final, and the straight in until this point. We should have about 1,000 feet, 1,100 feet, and then we can do the final to the runway. That's good enough. We can reactivate TAWS. Actually, we don't really need it. And yep, that's it. It's so dry here. There is no vegetation here at all worth mentioning. Maybe a bit of grass somewhere, but that is totally desert-like. But we're nearing the equator, so it is bound to be hot down here. We can see the ocean on both sides, so the peninsula is actually getting narrower all the time, and this one here, this looks like a very nice bay with lots of really extraordinary beaches. Extraordinary. Yes, sir. Extraordinary beaches. We're not even flying heading. For crying out loud. I should be flying heading, right? Okay. There we go. Look at these mountains. This is so freaking awesome. I don't know, as I said, there are many people out there who do not prefer the sandy and desert-like areas, but this one, look at this is like a painting, really. I mean, the textures are low resolution right now because we're that far away, but the shades, different shades of brown and beige and whatnot, it looks fantastic. Miles to go. What's the shortcut to temporarily deactivate track R? What was that? Oh, what have I done? What have I done? I have increased the RPMs that I didn't want to do that. Weird. So I guess there is a little bit of civilization here. What is that? It doesn't really say on the map. there seems to be a highway, this one right here, that's called MEX 1 on the map. Mexican Highway number 1, probably, something like that. And the town of Loreto, it's not really that big either, looking at the map. How long the runway actually is, it's like, well, it's over 7,000 feet. That means it's about, I don't know, 7,000 feet times, no, divided by 3, that's 60, 20, it's about 2.5 kilometers, something like that. And but that's about the size of this little city here. The little city, so very nice. Oh, baby. That's something that my little son, I don't know if he got that from me, but my little son likes to say, oh baby. And he says that with a German accent, so he says, oh baby. So cute. I mean, he's 4 years old, so it's extra cute. It's not like some teenager pretending to be a good singer, but he's just doing it like this. Oh baby. And I'm gonna have to cuddle him for that. At some point in the past, there seem to have been rivers. These riverbeds, all of them, there's got to have been a lot more water here. This place looks deserted, literally. So we can go ahead and start our descent pretty soon. We have switch to the approach. We could actually go ahead and do a proper instrument approach with the Ford and DME 34. Let's take the Yankee one. And now LTO. Let's LTO. Yep, LTO looks good. Let's take that one. Yes, please. We go ahead. And then we're going to hit approach. What's it going to do? It's going to turn around here. No, I don't have the patience for this. Let's go ahead and select a different one. Maybe Zulu. LTO. Initial approach fix. Activate. Yes. Oh, that's even further away. For crying out loud. Oh, sweet mother of God. No, we're gonna stick with the visual 34. Nope, sorry. Let's go back and change that straight in. Yep. Please go ahead and lead me where the money is. It's going to turn the funnel here. We're not going to be able to use the approach stuff, but that doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and put in some. Yeah, I know. We need 1,000 feet. Let's say 1,100. Then lose some altitude, reduce the throttle. Go back to 2,200 RPM. Let's see. There's the airport. It's a pretty long runway actually, and there is a little bit of action going on down here. There's an airplane taking off. Or maybe these dry rivers are actually not that dry in reality, and it's only a matter of the simulator not displaying it correctly. I'm not I don't know.
My dear friend, if you cast your eyes to the 12 o'clock position, you'll spot the Grand Loreto International Airport. Now, while airports
That's
might not
not
be the
the
most
12
scenic of
o'clock
sights,
position,
this one
I'm
is
sorry.
a gateway to adventure in Baja California, sir. Loreto itself is a charming town.
Stop. I turned him off because he's distracting me. So the wind looks pretty good actually right now. Not that much of a crosswind situation here. 2 to 5 knots. Not bad. It's a bit hazy actually. So we're going to turn around pretty soon, I would say. Look at the diamond. We're pretty good on the glide path here. We're at 11,000 feet now. The plane's turning around to go to the final approach. Yep, it's doing it very nicely. We can go ahead and lower the flaps to 10 degrees for now. and lose some speed. We could put it at 20 degrees actually. And I think looking at the wind situation, we've got 5 knots of headwind and 10 knots of crosswind. Take over and fly manually now. And lower the flaps even further and fully. So we're going to have to take that crosswind into account. There's one easy way to do this. Is looking at this indicator here and try to point it onto the runway. That makes it pretty easy to fly into the right direction. Oh, we're getting pretty slow here. Make sure we don't crash.
500.
Change my view here. The runway is so long, we don't even have to take care of landing very quickly as we usually do when we're flying over Papua New Guinea when the airfields are short and difficult to land on. We can actually prolong the approach a little bit so we're getting to the parking spots more quickly. This guy's not really going onto the runway right now, is he? You can't make this stuff up. Dude, what are you doing? Look at that. What's he doing? What the hell? Hello? I'm not so sure about the competence of AI, but you know, who am I to judge these guys? This is the general aviation parking area. So we're gonna find some spot here. Squeeze ourselves in between. There's not a whole lot of space here. And for some weird reason, I mean, these are parking spots for airplanes. They put a little house here. That doesn't make sense at all. Just park here. This looks better. Okay, so that was it for today. We've had our fun. drop, Charlie, prop back, and all that. Cut off, fuel, shut off, blah, blah, blah. Turn all that stuff off, and open the doors. Hi there, world. So, thanks for watching. The next time we're gonna fly this tour here is gonna be some of the coming days. See ya.